Hi everybody, today we're going to talk all things posture. This is a term that can be quite difficult for people to understand, but it's really the way you hold your body, whether you're holding it in a still position or you're moving. It's the way that you stand and move. Sometimes we might adopt a poor standing position, slumping to one side, and if we do that often enough, then the body will react by saying, oh, well, that is my normal standing position. It may well be, and this is something people are more familiar with, you might be that sort of slumped position. Your shoulders and the upper back is always feeling very rounded, and we recognise that term, slumped shoulders, quite easily. So we're going to look at an exercise that we can do in 3 different ways that will help us to identify any poor posture that we might have, and a way to start correcting it. So I've done an easy little diagram here of different postural positions. This is our good position. So if you can imagine me being side on and I've got a line going down the side of my body, I'm going to be equally balanced on either side of that line really. So it's going through my ear, my shoulder, my hip, my thigh and my ankle bone, and it's a line that's going straight down like a plumb line really, and we're equally distanced between the two and balanced. This one here is called Swayback, and as you can see from the diagram, it's where the top of your body is really going in a backwards position. Sometimes your head is slightly coming forward, but you're going in a backwards position, and that's your walking stance. The next one we have is called Lumbar Lordosis. Lumbar Lordosis is really where your bottom is the most prominent thing that's going backwards. So here we are, bottom is sticking up, and this is how we're walking. The next one we have now, this is where we start to recognise this slumped shoulder and arched upper back. It's called Thoracic Kyphosis. They've all got weird names, haven't they? But that's really the technical term for slumped shoulders. And with this one, you've got that rounding. So your bottom is actually tucking under a little bit, and this is the way you're moving. But you've got everything sort of slumped and feeling, the muscles feel a little bit weak at the top. If you sort of try and sit upright, then it feels both awkward and the muscles tire quite easily. I've done this last one, which is basically, you can see that it hasn't got the technical terms of these, but it's called head forward. And this is really, because we're all looking at our devices and we're all looking downwards, it's really the head is coming forward. So those are our different positions. So I'm going to show you now a quick way to try and identify any postural misalignment and how you can start to correct it. So I'm going to go and use the wall. So if you can imagine, let me just try and rearrange this camera. I'm standing against the wall. You're going to have to believe me that my heels are equally in touch with the wall. That's the first thing that we want to do, is just get a feeling that the heel is in touch with the wall. You haven't got one foot forward. They're both equally in touch with the wall. We're then going to move on to our hip. So this is where, if you've got a slightly twisted hip, which you might not necessarily be aware of, that's the problem with poor posture, is you're not always aware that you've fallen into a poor postural position. So you're going to put your hips again equally in touch with the wall. I've got a slight rotated pelvis going this way, so I'm pulling it back so that they're equally on. Do engage your core muscles to help support your lower back. I'm then going to use the palms facing out, back of the palms on the wall. And I'm now going to pull my shoulders so that they are in touch with the wall. This is where you're going to start working from here up towards your head to make sure that they are really trying to be in touch with the wall. So your shoulders are in touch, and now your head is following suit and being in touch. So if you've got that head forward position, this is where you might be having to work quite hard to get all of those contact points in touch with the wall. Once you've got used to that sensation of the wall being in touch, your benchmark, and how you're having to work hard to make those different points contact the wall, you can use the air. Imagine it's a solid block and you're pushing into it. So that's the feeling, you know, you're almost drawing your shoulder blades together as you're pulling it into the wall. And you can do it if you're sitting at a desk and you want to take a break from all that forward movement with your computer. Again, you're sitting and you're working that top part of your spine, because that's really where quite a few postural problems come into play. So I hope that's given you an idea of how to do a postural check and to start correcting it. When people come to see me, a postural assessment is one of the first things that I do, because we want to start identifying what areas we need to work at. I hope that helped, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.